Hello again, Struck. Another evening of me playing a little bit of Wolcen, trying to get some uniques from the newly updated weapons, shields and catalysts that go up to maximum required level, minimum required level 60. That new tier of unique weapons of hands seems to be pretty fun and pretty strong and competitive in regards to, for example, a max level legendary, but they're kind of slow and hard to farm, so I still haven't tested any of those to see how much better they are than their previous counterparts that had the maximum minimum level to 35 or 40. So right now the maximum level required or the maximum minimum level required for equipping those is 60 from what I've seen. Just an example would be this one, required level 60, changed from required level I think 40. So I've only found one, but that one is kind of a bust because, well, you can't reroll the sockets on it. So just quickly wanna do something here before I move on to the farming part. I need to get rid of something. What was it? I will get rid of... well, there's a lot of pistols here. Let's get rid of... let's get rid of this and put this there. So I'm just doing 163 maps. If before people ask why 163 and not 187, it's because it's cheaper to upgrade 163 items and they still give the same stats as a 187 item. So keep that in mind when farming. You might end up saving some bucks if you start farming 163 instead of 187, and it's faster.
My contacts are waiting for your word.
So let me just pick up some missions before I go in. I'm farming gold. Mostly I'm focusing on things that would reward me gold, so that when I find the NPC with the unique items I would have plenty to buy them. For example, sometimes, who knows, you might end up finding two in the same map. It's happened to me in the same map, one in a dungeon and one in the main zone of that Zeitgeist NPC. Alright, let's go. I'm farming on probably my favorite setup to play right now. Oh shit, I actually added a modifier. So this is my favorite setup. Before anyone asks for the skills, you might end up seeing it here. That's what I'm running, and that's the passives. Basically golem for survivability, here a little bit of more resistances, a little bit of block efficiency, heal gold generation, block efficiency, attack speed, double damage, projectile damage, chance to apply more ailments and damage based on ailments an enemy has when they die, and this one to execute the enemies, a little bit of rage. If I had 9 more skill points, if I was max level, it would have been amazing. And speaking of max levels, Torchlight 3 just got a new update where they're reducing the level cap from 100 to 60, and they're rebalancing the skills to be able to maximum put 10 points in a skill instead of 12, but the maximum skill points go down to 80 from 100. So they're kind of leaving some room for increasing the level cap when they add new content in the future, and I'm probably gonna spend some time tomorrow testing it. The problem is I can't stream it. I can't show you my adventures in the Torchlight universe when I played. So it's nice, but keep in mind the game is still in alpha, so it's understandable to have some NDA going on for it. But yeah, Torchlight 3, Torchlight Frontiers as it used to be known, definitely feels better and better with every update they've been making since the name change. And it's actually a game that has right now for the alpha it has something they're calling cheat NPCs, which allow you to get your character power leveled to certain level, and with the single click of a button. So you go and talk to the NPC, it gives you some random gear for level 20, it gets you to level 20, or random gear for level 30, it gets you to level 30. So basically it has options to get you at the start of Act 2, at the end of Act 2, at the end of Act 3, or at the end of Act 4, something like this. And it's nice, because you kind of complete the story around level 50 in Torchlight 3, and now there's less endgame grind for levels, more endgame grind for wood. Exactly the way I like playing games. So I'm really gonna spend some time tomorrow playing Torchlight 3. But unfortunately, as I said, I cannot stream the game yet. But if you have access to it, I would strongly suggest checking it out. If you have a alpha key or any other way of getting into it. But this is a perfect example of developers being good at what they're doing and listening to the community when it comes to Torchlight 3. If only Wolcen could be a little bit more like that. And speaking of Wolcen, yeah, I'm happy with the change they made, but as I said, I haven't tested any of the new tier uniques. Day 3 of me trying to spend some time farming for some of the new tier uniques. It's just taking a lot longer than needed, but that's how it is. Unique items are not supposed to be easy to find. They might be a little bit easier to find in the game, but I guess even the way it is right now, it's not so bad. I could start playing Untainted, but I'm not sure whether I'm gonna be getting a lot of uniques if I do start playing Untainted runs. But Untainted runs are quicker, so maybe if I'm farming for uniques, Untainted are better as a hunting zone than what I'm doing right now. Okay, there we go. Let's keep moving. And yeah, just back to the topic of Torchlight 3. By decreasing the level cap, of course, they decrease the level cap of item levels from 100 to 60. There should have been a wipe, I think. I think there was a wipe. I read something about a wipe. So there would have been a wipe, but as I said, with the cheat NPCs, it's not going to be difficult for someone to just use those NPCs to speed up to the end game, to the final act, to complete the final act, and then just get a few more levels to reach the max. So if any of you guys wants to play Torchlight 3, hit me up and we can maybe play some play for a while together tomorrow. Just gonna have to be off stream, cause no other way up. Okay, let's see here. Okay, second legendary in this map, not bad. If only there were uniques instead of legendaries in those drops I'm getting. I'm happy with how often legendary items drop. I wish unique items would drop a bit more often in this game. Because there's so many of them anyways, there's like what, 80 or something, or is it 70? There's quite a few.
No.
Wait, what happened to the chest? Oh, it opened here. Okay, let's keep moving. Come on, pet. Oh, wait, die. Bleak Azure. I don't think I've got this die. Yep. Learned a new die. I'm surprised there's still so many dies I haven't found in the game. Some of them I guess are pretty rare as a drop. Because I often get dice I already learned. Already found, so to say. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's hope I can get more of them to come next to him for explosions. Making sure I'm not shooting at the other enemies. Unless they are near the boss so they can explode on him. Like this. What shield has he got? He hasn't got a shield. Just a tough one. And another die. Should I keep doing the next levels or just keep turning in for the rewards? I'm probably gonna just keep turning in for the rewards. So I got two legendaries in this run, which I'm gonna sell, I guess. Oh, Frost and Whitening, this for an elemental build. But bleeding ailment damage on this bow kind of ruins the whole thing. And material ailment chance score. Yeah, I'll just get rid of it.
You have a good eye.
So quickly. Okay, I've got this die. Oh, map. I'm actually gonna do this map now. Quickly need a cell.
Plenty of missions.
Anything for goat? Goat and affinity. Goat, large quantity.
Oh,
About
hey
here.
there. I was just
Goat.
a tale from the glory days. Perhaps you'd like to hear it.
Something like this is fine for me.
Don't be shy. Mojave has
Wait,
everything
what did I
soldier
just sell?
needs.
I'm loving the sockets, the rest is shit. Okay, let's do that boss fight. Hopefully I don't break it.
Let me guess. You want a contract? No shortage of jobs like this. Stormfall's gone to the dogs.
So far, this boss is gonna be fine. Okay, final stretch. And he should die anytime now. Come on, execute, execute. Nothing too fancy though. But here, there's the too fancy stuff. Again, kind of disappointing when it comes to the rows. See, this duration to curse inflicted is not bad, crit damage is not bad, attack crit chance score not bad, but I would have preferred 3 times fat damage instead of the curse, for example, or instead of the crit chance. Which one's more expensive? This one. If anyone likes something that I'm selling to the NPC, just let me know. I can always invite you and buy it back from the NPC and give you the item. Just kind of limited when it comes to the storage, so yeah. Selling a lot of legendaries nowadays.
What are you? What? Oh.
More gold and
Where are you sending the
some
people?
armor. And what's left? Maybe we can get a reagent.
There's no need to be shy. We go way back, no? Don't be shy. Mojave has everything a soldier needs.
Let's keep going.
Don't be shy. Mojave has everything a soldier needs.
Let me guess. You want a contract?
Let me do an untainted map, just once. Just one untainted map, just to see how lucky I will be with the drops here.
Can't manage that right now. That's not
Yeah, this one's a bit tough. There we go. Oh, a lot of
Can't manage
archers.
that right
And Zealot is the first spawn, the first untainted.
now. Not possible.
Oh, there's a greed shrine, which means I'm gonna have to kill this Zealot, because I wanna do the greed shrine. So annoying. So annoying. And the worst part is, as I said, you can't interrupt Havoc Orb in the middle of the attack. I have to wait for all 5 shots. And by the time it's done shooting, the Zealot has already charged me. So, not the best. See? I just can't interrupt it, and this is such a bad mechanic. Torchlight 3 already did something similar as a fix. They made it so that if you use a movement skill, it interrupts whatever other animation is currently going on, regardless whether it's a spell, a skill, or anything else that you're doing. Using a movement mechanic just interrupts that, and this is how it should be in action RPGs. You want to be able to interrupt whatever you're doing when casting a movement escape mechanic, or whatever you want to call it. And I've accidentally opened the shrine in the worst time possible when there's a zealot. I didn't want to open it, but not sure how it ended up getting opened. So now I'm not gonna get even a single chest due to the fucking zealot. I'm not sure how I opened the shrine. I never clicked on it. So how did this happen? Alright, well, now I don't even need to be here, since the shrine is already gone. Yeah, that's why I don't like doing content, and that is just too boring. Too boring. The mechanics of the enemies are just so boring, and you can't avoid them due to bad design of escape mechanics and dodging. It's easy to avoid the other ones. It's easy to avoid this Shadow Blade, and it's easy to avoid the Mind Sealer. But the Zealot is just plain boring. When you're using this skill. I mean, it's my skill that's broken. It's not the mechanic itself, but still. And you can't crowd control those either. Ah, from out of nowhere, of course. Probably it's not worth it doing this run. I just wanted to see how much better the wood would be if I do one of those. And as expected, it's probably not gonna be that better. We'll see. I'm gonna go to the boss fight now.
I can't do that.
Okay, got some more power now. Oh, this is the boss I'm getting? Might as well pull him towards where there's some enemies. Oh, and the Zealot, fuck.
That's not helpful. Not right
Fuck, no.
now. I can't.
Of course, that's gonna happen. Fucking Zealot. In the worst possible time.
It's
Yeah, that whack of being able to cancel out my attack is just terrible. Right, let's kill it finally. Think it died? Oh, come on. But yeah, let's see if I get a unique item this time. Come on, can I just skip this? Yeah, just junk.
Take your coin and leave me in peace.
Totally not worth the troubles. I mean, yeah, it drops a ton of items, but when I'm doing a normal map, by the time I finish it, I get probably the same amount of items from drops. I'm gonna do a Well-Tommen's map now.
My contacts are waiting for your word.
Of course, my lady. Let us pray the
Wrath of
trip is a
Saricel runs
fruitful
are good if you want specific items with specific skills.
Now that's what I'm
That you
talking
can only
about.
get in the
All
Wrath
you
of
might lose
Saricel.
a few seekers
Or
short,
specific,
but the treasures
should
await
I
them
say,
there.
affixes.
There's nowhere else like it.
Greetings,
Otherwise,
my lady.
you're better
We
off
are travelers
farming
from
something
Wolcen.
else, because you're
We
wasting
work
less
without
resources.
prepared a security detail.
Come in.
Oh, it's you.
Okay, let's just do it like that then.
So, what'll it be?
Oh, 214 all resistance score. Damn, this is nice.
You
But I don't
know
have time to
Mojave is
upgrade right now,
always the
especially
best land.
after they fucked it up and made it so that you can't upgrade the quality of a legendary item. Kind of a bad way of handling it. You should be able to upgrade the quality, not the rarity, but the quality of a legendary item. This is an amazing piece of equipment, by the way. Attack speed, agility, health on this item, and all resistance. If instead of agility I had toughness there, because this one can eventually get percent HP or percent resistance, or maybe both of those. But actually that's something I've been keeping, so... And this is what I mean. I wish I could just upgrade this to legendary and then see if it's worth upgrading the quality. Because if it ends up being a bust, then I'm not gonna end up wasting time upgrading the quality. But right now we need to upgrade the quality to 5 stars and then upgrade to legendary. And it's not fun having to do it this way. You're
Got
wasting a
everything
ton
you
of
need?
gold and
Excellent.
affinity to
Come
do
back
it this
soon.
way. Because if I end up not being happy with the results when I
You're on a
upgrade
contract.
a yellow item to an orange, and I don't like the stats I get in the SWATs, in the extra 2 SWATs, then of course I'm just not gonna invest
Come
more
back
into the
soon.
item.
I'll be here as always.
And that's how I used to do it before, but a series of bad decisions when this game has been patched made it so much less enjoyable to play. There have been some good patches, so I gotta give them credit where it's due. There have been some good changes, such as this change they did to the legendary items, to the unique items. But they only did it to weapons and offhand, so we're gonna have to wait for the armors to get the same treatment.
I need more
Let's do this. Wait, okay, there we go. I was wondering why it's not exploding. Let's get the Omen. See, why is it not hitting? Look at that, it was shooting right next to it and it was missing. This is such bullshit. Look. Okay, now we're hitting it. Now we're hitting it. And we should be able to rotate while shooting those rockets. Not to move, just to rotate the direction in which we are shooting them. The way this salvo of rockets is handled feels super wrong. Once you start shooting, you cannot rotate, and that's not how it should be. You should be able to rotate and shoot the rockets in different locations. Right now you start shooting and then you have to shoot all 5 rockets in the same direction, and you cannot cancel it, as I mentioned earlier, until it's over. You cannot dodge roll to stop it, to avoid an attack in the middle of it. But there's ways to make it better. There's ways to make it better so that it allows you to move your cursor and rotate, and that way maybe spread where the rockets are hitting. It's just a lazy way of doing it right now. Keeps you in place, not being able to do anything.
Not possible.
Oh, Omen, Omen, Omen.
Can't be done.
Okay, I still keep getting so many legendaries and so little uniques. It's just bad RNG for me, I guess. I used to get many uniques before, but after this update I've been unable to. The only uniques I've gotten were from the NPC that sells them so far for the past 3 days. So they probably nerfed the drop rates without telling us. Either this or I'm getting bad RNG, and it's just a coincidence there. Oh, now it's going the other way, of course. And more legendaries and no uniques. So far 187 uniques are no better than before, or even better than some much lower level uniques. Very disappointed. Well, look, it's not about the 187, and it's about the thing at the bottom. At the bottom, if it says required level 60, then it's stronger than before when it says something like required level 40. So 187 is not the max you can get. I mean, 163 should give you the exact same stats as a 187, but it's not about the level at the top, it's about the level at the bottom for the unique items. So I think around item level 100 or maybe item level 90 is where you stop getting bonuses for uniques. For legendaries you need 163, so for legendary items 187 is no better than 163. In fact 187 is worse because it's more expensive to upgrade to 187 compared to a 163. But that's for legendary and for yellow items. For uniques it's all about the level here, and this one is definitely better than the old one. I've got an old one and I can show you so you can see for yourself when I'm in the town, but it's like 150 extra weapon damage on this one between the level 41 and the level 61. But yeah, I can't get them. I can't get them to try them, and this is the problem that I'm having. It's super hard to test something like this. What they should have done is they should have converted all previously dropped items. So if I had some high level items before, they should have changed those with the new level requirement. That's not how you do changes like those. Another bad way of handling patching. And Rygar's Hope is broken because you can't change the sockets on it. If you remember, there was a bug that allowed us to upgrade unique items to legendary, and they fixed that bug. But by fixing that bug, they introduced a new bug. They introduced a bug that doesn't allow us to upgrade the sockets, to change the sockets on Rygar's Hope. And Rygar's Hope is a special unique item, the only one that allows us to have sockets on a unique. And if we can't change the socket type, it's kind of useless. Because I don't want to be using mage related, spell related bonuses on a two-hander build. It's just not how I want to play it. And this one is two spell related things and one element related thing, so it's super unlucky right now when it comes to Rygar's Hope. But Rygar's Hope, I can tell you from now, it's gonna be okay. It's not gonna be as good as a legendary min-maxed item with 1200 damage, but it can probably go to 1000 damage, total damage, with the right socketed gems, due to the bonus that gives you material damage on attacks with this weapon, and due to that one bonus. Again, it's not gonna be a good replacement for a min-maxed perfect row, a legendary two-hander, but it's gonna be a good starter weapon that would still be okay to use. I think it's gonna be kind of as strong as that one I've got, for example. If I socket one with physical, rent, and toxic gems to get the most out of the bonus. Let's get that omen. But they should have just converted the old items to the new ones, if they were high enough item level to get that new requirement. Because I've got a full stash page with uniques. I've been keeping one of every I can find. Of course, I don't have one of exactly every one of the uniques, because there are so many uniques that I still haven't found after the wipe. And I keep getting legendaries again. I mean, it's not bad that I'm getting legendaries, that's extra gold, but as you can see, my work with uniques is kind of terrible. Is anyone else noticing a reduction to the drop rate of unique items, or is it just me? On the other hand, I've been noticing an increase of how often the NPC that sells unique items is showing. So maybe they did that as some sort of a balance. Drop less uniques, but the NPC that sells them shows more often. Shows up more often. Wait, there's a shrine I'm trying to find. Oh, there we go. It's here. Time to burst him. Another reagent, and is that another NPC for the quest? Yep. But yeah, I wanna try some of those, and it's just gonna take me a while to try them all. The things I'm most interested in trying would be some of the shields and some of the weapons. I'm not that interested into trying the offhands, the catalysts, but I might try them if I get them, of course, with certain builds.
Can't manage that right now.
The one catalyst that is amazing to try, if it's strong, would be the McFester Interact, because the McFester Interact is the only one that doesn't have minus, what was it called, minus transfer time. So extra minus transfer time decrease. This one doesn't exist on the McFester Interact, and it's good for hybrid rogue mage or ranger mage or warrior mage builds.
Can't manage that.
And I've got a wall level 1, I just need a high level 1. But from what I've seen on the two-hander I was showing earlier, the maximum minimum level, I'm not sure if it makes sense when I say it like that, maximum minimum level, but the minimum level is, as I said, the number at the bottom, the required level. And since the maximum is 60, with that increase, the increase of this required level, I've been seeing good stuff regarding... wait, where is that enemy? Oh, another dungeon. Please have an NPC inside. Right, no NPC here either. At least I got a bunch of legendaries on this map, if anything. There should be an elder somewhere here, and I'm not seeing it. I probably missed one over there.
I need
I'm gonna have to shoot some enemies to get my potion filled up. My guess is it's somewhere out there. Well, it's not here. That's terrible. If it's not here, where the hell is it? I've been down there before. There should be a demon of flesh somewhere. Yeah, I hate it when the game doesn't show me where the enemies for the quest are. At least when there's one left, it should start showing you where the last one is. Even if it doesn't show you where they are at the start.
I can't do that.
Let's refill my potion. Maybe it's here. Come on, enemy, show yourself. Or maybe it's glitched. It might as well be glitched and not have spawned in a zone I can reach.
Not
But I've checked every single place where it could be, and it's just not here. So another map that cannot be completed due to bugs, I guess. Unless I'm missing something. But yeah, there should be a demon of flesh, and it's not here. Quite unfortunate. Ah, there we go. See, it wasn't showing on my map. It was not showing on the map as a boss, as a skull, red skull. At least it was here so I can complete my map. But it's weird, it was not showing up as a champion or whatever it is on the map. Off we go. Anything worth picking up? Right, I'm gonna pick whatever. It's not gonna be anything good anyways.
Please, look around.
So let's see the
I'm
legendary
sure you'll
drops, if
find
anything worth
something
it
that
dropped.
takes your fancy.
I don't
Have
think
a
it's worth
good
it.
eye.
Damn, I need to start saving up more room.
A customer. Welcome to my humble
Hmm.
stand.
So, oh, wait, did I want to sell this? Was I saving this? Rent toxic elemental. Let's say I'm not saving it. Although it is nice, two times flat damage. And that means it can get a third one. It can get a third one. I might actually keep it. I know it's not a good base because it only gives HP and not crit.
You have a good eye.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta get rid of something. What can I get rid of? I think I've got too many pistols in the other place. Where were my pistols? Wait, what happened? Yesterday I had like, in one page I had like 6-7 pistols. And I got rid of a lot of them. Okay, I got the pistols here. So, 4 here, 2 here. Let's get rid of... tough choice. Physical rent, material ailment. Rent toxic, crit damage. Physical toxic. I'm gonna get rid of this.
What are you looking for? A new weapon, perhaps?
So as I was saying, you can see the difference. This goes to 347 because 190%. This one is to 504 and it's 232%. So it's not bad. It's not bad because if you look at the regular two-hander, this one, for example, is 957 without gems inside. Of course, this is with 3 attack bonuses, so it's kind of an okay one. But let's take this one, for example, 848 with 3 flat damages without the socketed items. But this one, as I said, has a plus material damage bonus. That means if you put material damage gems, you're gonna benefit from extra 232% the thing on the gem. So if you add something like, let's say you add 32 toxic, 32 toxic, 32 toxic, that's what, 96 toxic. That's gonna be 96 plus another 232%, so let's say another 300 and something damage. So you can still get You can still get around probably 900. It's not gonna be 1,000 though. It's not gonna be 1,000. It's not gonna be 1,200 or whatever. But it's still gonna be okay damage as a starter weapon. If you don't have a good legendary, it's gonna be nice for beginners to have that, as long as you can change the sockets, which you can't. Let me check if there was a hotfix. Nope, still can't change the sockets. So right now this weapon is useless. I wanna see how the edgy is. I wanna see if the edgy is any good after the increase, because before you could see at level 40, no, that's Apex edgy. At level 40 you could see 510. So if this goes from 347 to 504, that's like almost half the increase. Let's say half the increase on this one probably would be to 760, 765, something like that. It's still again not gonna be something amazing, but it's still gonna be okay for a starter weapon. But I wanna see it with my own eyes, how
Come in. There's no
big the
need to
increase would be on
decide.
those.
We go way back.
I'm
No?
guessing it's not gonna be as good as people wanted them to be, but it's still gonna be a step up.
There you are. Our diplomats.
Plenty of eager seekers waiting for your word. I almost wish I was going with them.
But yeah, I fear it's not gonna be really worth it if you wanna be comparing a legendary to that.
Contract.
If you wanna just use it as a starter weapon, probably it's gonna be okay for 163 content, which is all that matters right now.
I'll be here as always.
But the problem with the Edgy and Rygar's Hope is their material weapons. So if you wanna be playing Gods Amongst Men, you're limiting yourself, you're robbing yourself from what is it, 6 times 25 damage. So you're robbing yourself from a lot of damage. Is it 150? 150 damage. Is 150% damage is what you're losing if you use Gods Amongst Men, if you're not using Immortal Offering. But it's good for certain builds where you just want to make sure that you're only doing specific elements. So for example, what was the name of that skill? I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna quickly tell you about a nice synergy I've got amongst men and another skill. So you know there's this passive here that applies ailment stacks on you, which means with Gods Amongst Men and Fatal Pact, you're only gonna be inflicting yourself with toxic, with bleeding, and maybe stun. I'm not sure even if the stun would count. So that way you're only limiting it to those stacks, to the damage dealing stacks. And see, this only gives you bonuses when cleansing stasis, curse, and weakness. But you can still do weakness stacks. You can still do weakness stacks with this, with Sacred Oath, which I'm wondering why I didn't take this point. I might have made a mistake here. I probably made a mistake. I should have taken this note. And probably not taken maybe this one, that walk efficiency. I can live without it, or maybe I could just get rid of some attack crit chance score. So yeah, when I was setting up my build I must have forgotten about Sacred Oath. But yeah, at this point I can easily transfer here. I'm still inflicting enough weakness though. As you can see, I already have the Immortal Offering, so I've inflicted somehow weakness on them with my spells. That's because I have Sacred damage added to spells from my offhand.
It's not risky.
Or maybe I actually don't even need the Sacred Toad that much with my current gear. But yeah, Fatal Pact is an interesting combo if you're doing an ailment based build with material damage only, with toxic and bleeding. And you wanna just make sure you're focusing your damage types to just material ones. I mean, you can still do other ailments, not the damage though.
Not right now.
And boom. I'm wondering how long it would take me to get a unique drop. Yesterday I found the NPC that sells items multiple times. The day before I only found her once. But again, those are just short game sessions. It's not like me playing for 8 hours like I sometimes do. But yeah, I've been kind of looking for something better to play right now, and it's pretty boring for me. All the games I could play, I don't really feel like playing. I don't feel like playing this game. I don't feel like playing Grim Dawn or Vast Epoch or Chaos Bane. I want something new and fresh. I wish I could be playing Torchlight 3 right now. Torchlight 3 used to be the game that whenever I don't have anything I wanna play, I could always just play that for a few hours and have some fun without worrying too much about anything. And right now I really wish I could play that. It's like one of those periods where I'm kind of looking for something new to play, something fresh. I would have liked playing Mountain Blade 2 Banner Ward, but I've heard it has a ton of bugs and glitches, so it's probably gonna take some time before the game is playable. But Mountain Blade 2 Banner Ward game I've been waiting for, and it's nothing like this. It's nothing like this game. But I used to enjoy playing the first version a lot. If anyone has suggestions of any games, even if they are not hack and slash shooters, feel free to. Although I'm looking for a nice hack and slash shooter game. If it's online, definitely something without pay to win for me, because I'm not a big fan of that. I've been wondering if I should try the arena version of Black Desert, the Black Desert BR. But I'm not a fan of BRs, but I saw that there's fighting mobs and it's not just fighting people. So maybe I might enjoy playing that, if it doesn't have any pay to win in it. I forgot what it was called. Shadow Arena, I think it was called. I might try it. I might try playing Shadow Arena just to see how it goes.
I can't do that.
We'll see for now though. But I did watch some gameplay the other day and it looked impressive. For a quick pick me up gameplay, that That doesn't require much time to complete a round. Oh wait, I've been here already. Never mind. So where the hell is this boss fight? It's saying that way. Oh, it's here, okay. Let's pull him to the enemies. And my pet, as always, trolling me and keeping the enemy in place.
No.
Right, it's gonna die soon. I'm loving those explosions from EOS. From Sacred Oath.
What?
Oh, not Sacred Oath. What was the name of the skill? Pious Striker? Dawn's Pious Striker and Sudden Death. Alright. That's what it was called.
Where are you thinking of sending the Seekers today? Someone
Okay,
told
some
me
goat.
missions.
There are a number of missions being considered.
More goat.
Take a look when you're
Even more goat.
Oh,
Are you looking for me?
And maybe accessories.
Got plenty of
Still on the
evidence
lookout
to
for
see.
that one perfect steel ring.
Hello there, friend. Please browse my wares.
I've tried Bless Unleashed. I've actually tried playing Bless when it was on PC on Steam. It was such a big disappointment, especially the clusterfuck raid boss fights, and that were kind of I don't know. It was so boring. Nothing too challenging about those world raid bosses, where it's just a Zerg fest with 10 FPS or whatever. But yeah, Bless, especially the end game. The end game of Bless seemed so boring and so unrewarding and so limited that I'm not fan of time gates. I'm not fan of a game telling me you can only do this X times every week, or you can only do this X times every day. And SBM, if you want the build, this is what I'm using. If you want to copy my build, you're using Anomaly, and the key thing is pulls enemies closer, and health globes are exploded. This is the key things about this build. And the rest is just bonuses. I like using this and this, so I would suggest take those two, and the rest is just a bonus for me. Then you want this. Explosions have a chance to drop health globes. And this one I'm using Toxic converted to fire because my weapon is doing Toxic, so I don't need Toxic from that. If I switch to playing with a pistol like this one, then I would keep it Toxic because I can do fire here. So just you kind of you're flexible. You don't even have to use this skill here. Just use something that gives you enough elements to do the stacking of 7 buffs with Immortal Offering. So right now I want to be burning the enemies, and the Fire Plague Burst seems like the best choice to do it. Another choice would be fire version of Solar Fall. This is another choice. So this is another choice for this slot. But it has to be fire for me because, as I said, I need a way of burning the enemies. And this gives me frost. which I really don't really need, but this gives me whitening damage to attacks. This gives me fire, sacred and shadow to spells, so I can burn, do weakness and curse enemies with my anomaly and with whatever spell I put here, if it is a spell. And with my Havoc Orb, as you can see, I can poison, I can bleed, and sometimes I can even do the whitening, but not as often. That's why the pet helps me with the whitening. That's why I prefer playing Plague Burst. And it's a good synergy having these health globes. Then you have the golem with the ranged golem and the generation glyph to transfer damage, which is where the survivability is. And then this one further increases the chance of health globes dropping. So this is 6% when I buff myself. And then from here I have another 4%, that's 10% health globe generation. And from this one, I don't know what the chance of this is, but it's pretty big chance when I do that, so I'm liking this. This is kind of how I played. It's the most fun setup for me to play. And you can see I'm only farming 163. I don't think I need to do 187, but I can do 187 with this. It's just a little bit slower than 163. And as I said, upgrading 187 items is more expensive than upgrading 163 items. And they're not better. So if you want XP, if you want to be leveling up faster, do 187 of course. The wood difference is just what, 20 something percent, so 20 something percent magic find is not gonna give you that big of a difference in the magic find, but the wood definitely is cheaper to upgrade at 163 level compared to 187. I'm talking about upgrading item quality from 2 stars to 3 stars to 4 stars to 5 stars and upgrading a yellow item to legendary item. Oh, and it's faster to do those runs at this difficulty. So right now the game is not motivating me to farm 187 unless I want XP. And the XP is pretty bad as it is, so might as well be farming this. And there's another thing you might wanna take with this build if you wanna do it. It's this one, radius for picking up health globes. But if you take this, you're losing damage, because we're getting damage based on exploding the health globes. So you see the enemies are exploding from Plague Burst, which spawns globes, and the globes get exploded with anomaly to do extra damage. This is not our main source of damage. Of course, my main source of damage is the explosions from the trial belt, from Mark of Impurity. And that brings me to, if you don't have the trial belt, you need to be using Mark of Impurity over here instead of Plague Burst, or instead of the Shout. You just need you need Mark of Impurity, and on Mark of Impurity I like playing it with a plus setup. That's what I call this setup. Damage received by marked enemies is increased. Again increased one more time. Oh shit, I was not paying attention here. Didn't see there was a spear bearer attacking me from afar. So damage increased further again. Curse stacks. This immediately gets 10 curse stacks on an enemy, even if you don't do shadow damage, so you can get the curse from here. Then increased chance to inflict ailments on marked enemies really helps. And this one, this is the big damage. This is where the damage comes from. You group up the enemies and they keep exploding, and anomaly is perfect for grouping up the enemies for those explosions. You can see it groups them up together, so as soon as one dies, it sets like a chain reaction doing more damage to the ones nearby. You might have something like one dies, it kills the other one, which kills the other one, which kills the other one, and so on. But mostly, if one dies, it kind of kills all the other squishy enemies, and it's just the elite left. And if you have a constant influx of normal enemies around the elite, it's good damage for the elite. Oh, let's see. I can even show you without using Havocorp how it would go. Let's do it without using Havocorp, just the spells. See, this is just the spells. Without me using Havocorp, so just Anomaly and Plague Burst. Let's do Plague Burst as well. So this is with just the spells. But keep in mind, I do have a very good offhand. Not the best, but it has 3 times flat spell damage. So this is a lot of spell damage I'm getting for my Anomaly and Plague Burst. Extra Fire, Sacred and Shadow. And you've probably noticed I'm using Block Chance. Ideally I would have had 3 times Block Chance or 2 times Block Chance, 1 times Block Efficiency, but it's so expensive to reroll those items, and this is the hardest item to get the perfect rolls on, because it can give you defensive and support. So I settled down for 1 transfer time and 2 times Block Chance. And right now my Block Chance without a buff is 72, with the buff 87. Block efficiency only 27.7. Ideally I would play this with a shield that gives me access to Livor Mortis, and a weapon that gives me access to Anomaly. And I would be playing it as a warrior. That's how I would normally play this. So instead of Aether Jump, I would probably be using something like Warpath to move, or alternatively I could use a shield with Aether Jump. I've got one in my warehouse somewhere. Oh, actually this one with Aether Jump, and then if I get a shield with Aether Jump, Anomaly and Livor Mortis, I can then not use Plague Burst and use another attack skill there instead of a spell, and it's gonna be good because with the shield I can get a lot of block efficiency. It's gonna be super tanky with the shield. But Livor Mortis and Anomaly are my main skills, and it doesn't have to be a sword or a dagger. It could be anything: sword, dagger, pistol. I think dagger and pistol are better because they give you access to Havocorp. But if you don't want to be using Havocorp, you can go for a shield and sword, or shield and axe, or mace, and use some sort of a melee attack. But the main thing about this build is the Golem for survivability and Anomaly for grouping up the enemies. The rest is just flavor that can be changed based on personal preference. And since I'm using a projectile setup, of course I'm using Havocorp, but you can customize it. You can go here and remove this projectile damage and spend it elsewhere. And if you don't need attack speed, you can get rid of this and you can get rid of this and get some other stuff. Let's see.
Can't manage that.
Come on. And it's gonna explode now. And this execution, when they've got 15% HP left, is nice. If you wanna see the damage numbers, just to see what damage I'm doing, I can show you. I'm gonna show you the critical damages only, so we don't cluster the screen with a bunch of numbers.
It's not possible. That's not happening.
What's here? I'm not a big fan of how big the numbers are. I'd rather see a decimal and just M for million, K for thousand, etc. Instead of so much numbers. It's just ugly. I don't like so many numbers on the screen. I love damage numbers, but I don't like when they're like not 3 digits, but 6 digit, 7 digit, etc., 8 digit. Just too much,
Not possible.
and it's distracting from the gameplay, from the beauty of the spells, of the skills. And this game has beautiful skills and spell animations. Visually, this game is probably the best looking one. Even Lost Ark, I don't think even Lost Ark looks better than Wolcen. I mean, I've played Lost Ark, and Lost Ark is Unreal 3 engine. It's pushing Unreal 3 engine to its limits. It's squeezing the most juice you can squeeze from the Unreal 3 engine. It's like squeezing a Capri Sun to get the last drop. This is what Lost Ark is doing to the Unreal 3 engine. It's impressive what graphics they managed to achieve with an outdated engine like the Unreal 3 one on Lost Ark, and they do deserve credit for that. But I think this CryEngine provides much better looking effects and animations, and I like this one visually more than Lost Ark. But visually I don't really care if the game is perfect. I play 2D games as well. I play pixel 2D games, 16-bit, 8-bit games as well, so for me graphics is not the most important.
Not right now.
But it's nice to have those crisp, smooth animations. Definitely it's good to have some bit of eye candy, as long as it doesn't affect the performance too much. So you can see with my Havoc Orb, even when I don't have the double damage, I do around 3, 4, 5,000, 500,000, sometimes even 700,000, but yeah. But mind you, I'm shooting 5 projectiles for a single click of my button. Like now, 1 click, 5 projectiles.
I can't do that.
Okay, I'm gonna disable the numbers again. Just don't like them the way they are.
Not right now. It's not possible. On to the next one.
But keep in mind, I've got a very good dagger as a weapon. Good dagger and good offhand. That's why I've got the damage. And also I've got 60 crit damage from this ring, 2 times flat damages, and I've got 1 times flat damage here and another 30% crit damage. So I've got okay gear. And I mean, I don't have the perfect meta gear, but it's okay. So that's why I have such high damage numbers. If you're just starting out and you're playing this with yellow items, you're definitely gonna get probably 60% of what I'm doing as a damage. So instead of up to 500,000-600,000, you're probably gonna be doing 300,000-400,000 damage max. If you don't have that good of a setup. And if you need more survivability, you can always take 2 golems or 3 golems. 2 or 3 golems can give you more survivability for content that you're having troubles completing. So you can remove the shout, you can remove plague burst Yeah, if you want, you can even remove Aether Jump if you don't need that mobility, and put another golem or another 2 golems to give you that extra survivability. If I go for triple golems, I'm almost unkillable, but the damage kind of suffers. Yo, Spawnless, nice to see you again, my dude. How have you been? Yeah, there is new gear. New gear in regards to new tiers. It's the old items but stronger. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by the old items but stronger.
Welcome back, my lady. Stormfall's recent
So
developments
let's
are
take
unusual.
Rygard's Hope. Look at this one, 347 damage, level 40. This one, level 60, 504, with 232% material damage on attacks with this weapon. So every single weapon and shield and catalyst got a level 60 version, which is, you can see, around roughly around 50% stronger. Around 50% stronger than before. So I'm trying to find this bow as a level 60. I'm trying to find an edgy as a level 60. I want to find this one as a level 60 as well for a Thor build, a Thunder God build. I'm trying to find this one as well, but this one probably is still not gonna be worth picking up because the crowd control immunity is broken and it doesn't work. The problem with Rygard's Hope is it's broken. You cannot reroll the sockets. Do you remember when we could upgrade uniques to legendary and then they fixed it? By fixing it, they broke the Rygard's Hope sword because they made it so you can't reroll the sockets. By fixing the bug that was allowing people to upgrade unique to legendary. So until they fix it, this is kind of a useless junk weapon. Even though it has a lot of potential to be a nice starter two-hander for material builds. What is this 2 circles up from R skill? R skill? Which R skill? Do you mean this skill? Or this? 2 circles up. 2 circles up from R skill. Does it worth to buy the game for $45? I like Diablo 3 and Path of Exile. If you like Diablo 3 and Path of Exile, this game with 45 bucks definitely not worth it. Right now the game has a lot of disbalance and a lot of things are getting fixed. So they're doing a 4-month period, maybe 3 more months left, of just hot fixing and patching and basically they're polishing the game because they had a pretty bad launch. I would say wait for 50-60% off sale, then buy it, but the game would be good in a few months probably, hopefully. I can't suggest you to buy the game right now. If you like Diablo and Path of Exile, you're gonna love this game when it's fixed. In its current state, I don't think you're gonna love it. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. Many skills are not as strong as you want it to be, and currently when it comes to doing the strongest content in the end game and the meta, there are just a few options, probably 5-6 different setups with all of their different variations that you can use, and that's kind of it. But they're working on fixing this, they're working on rebalancing, they're working on getting rid of the bugs and the annoying glitches, and there's been some noticeable changes. So they're taking the feedback, but right now probably give it a few months. There will be leak content, so let's say 3-4 months from now, when they start adding content, there will be leaks, the same way you have seasons and leaks in Diablo and Path of Exile. Something like this would be here. And this is why I was saying, since all of this progress here would be kind of pointless when leaks start, they might as well use this as a testing ground and just be bold with the changes. Just keep buffing some of the weak skills, and even if it's needed, nerf them later, but for now, a lot of skills feel super weak. And Eric or Eriko. I'm not sure whether this is Eric LBB or Eriko MLBB, but Eriko, not sure what you mean by these two circles up from the skill. Do you mean this? Not sure which skill. Two circles. Is it this skill? Is it this skill? This skill?
That can't be done.
This skill? This one? Ah, this blessed silver. Blessed silver is that thing here. So I have 5 anointed ammunition, which replenishes every few seconds or when I do active dodge roll. And for every anointed ammunition I get projectile damage. If I lose points I get melee damage. But if I gain points I got projectile damage. And I've taken this one. Every time I do a critical hit I get 1 ammunition. So I actually kind of keep that ammunition all the time up. You can see if I'm shooting I lose the ammunition. If I dodge roll I replenish it. And every few seconds it also gets replenished. And if I crit I also replenish it, so there's that. So basically permanent 50% projectile damage. That's what this is. And the other one is Flurrying Flames. Flurrying Flames can give me up to 200% attack speed score. So this is 150, which is 50 times 3% attack speed score, 50 times 0.2% wife leech, which is what, 2.5 wife leech, and this is minus 50% all resistance. And then this one increases the attack speed and wife leech. So I'm losing all resistance score, and that's each time I hit an enemy. So it stays while I'm in combat, and I'm stacking this attack speed with this attack speed, which is great for the rockets. You're gonna see.
Welcome to the purple
Let's go
Phoenix.
do a map just quickly.
What do you
So I'm kind of stacking certain things for attack speed, and I get more attack speed here. So you can see my attack speed right now without the buffs is 25. If I shout, it's 45, and I can get that to like 70 or 80. Let's see, I'm gonna try and max out my Flurrying Flames. So 65 attack speed. I need to get the Flurrying Flames maxed out. So you can see for a moment there I had 72% attack speed. I mean, it's not gonna be 72 all the time, but when I'm in combat and when I'm fighting a boss, it's gonna be that.
Not possible.
So you see different types of skills from the passive tree up here. Those are not the only two ones that can give you something like this. There's more. There's more that can give you some specific visual effects there.
It's not possible.
But yeah, those new tiers of unique items, I'm kind of getting very unlucky. I haven't dropped for the last 3 days, not a single unique item dropped. I've bought 3 or 4 unique items from the NPC that sells unique items, but that's it. I've only been finding uniques from the NPC, not as drops. So either they nerf the drop rates of unique items, or I'm just super unlucky. But at least I'm finding the NPC, so there's that as a consolation prize, I guess. We need new content, but they said they are not gonna release new content for the next 3-4 months. They were going to release new content, but then they decided to, instead of releasing new content, to focus on polishing the games. So they decided to set back the new content by 4 months. So it's delayed. It's delayed by 4 months, but during those 4 months they would be fixing the broken stuff that came on launch. So basically right now consider this open beta. And consider the real launch, the actual real launch being in like 3 months from now or 4 months from now. When they are done with the polishing phase. And it's better that way. I'd rather them take their time and fix the game and rebalance all the items and abilities and passives and everything like that, and fix the broken things that are not working before adding new content. I mean, we can always come back to this game. As long as we know that when we come back to it, it's gonna be in a good shape. People have Diablo, people have Path of Exile, there's Grim Dawn, there's a Last Epoch, there's other games that people can play if they don't feel like playing Wolcen until new content is here. We definitely do need new stuff, because currently the end game is so boring. It's just the same thing. The exact same thing, only expeditions. Regardless whether it's untainted or not, it's still the same kind of playstyle. Even Last Epoch has the rifting equivalent of monoliths and arena, which is the survival mode. And it's in a beta. And with Torchlight, for example, with Torchlight 3 you can currently explore the zones where you quest and fight in those if you don't want to be doing map works, which is the equivalent of rifting again. So even Torchlight 3 maybe has a little bit more to offer, and it's an alpha. So yeah, we do have kind of bland endgame. Even the mandates are kind of similar to the expeditions. The mandates are kind of like, yeah, like an expedition just with a different mission there to do, and without the level increase of the enemies. So kind of a more boring version. I think the whole mandate system really needs a proper rework, because it's still kind of boring, and I don't think anyone is doing mandates in Wolcen. They need to make the mandates like the bounties in Diablo, to make sure that people have a reason of doing them, something that's really rewarding. Some crafting materials or whatever that are getting rewarded when you complete a certain number. Like complete certain mandates, get a chest. I mean, I wouldn't mind if they copy the fucking bounty system of Diablo and do their own version of it. If it's good and they copy it, I don't care, as long as it works fine. As long as it works fine and makes sense. But right now the mandate system is just not something I see myself using in that game. They did rework it a bit, but it wasn't enough. So right now I agree that we do need more content, but I'm patient. I can wait 3 more months or so for them to fix the balance problems and the bugs. I think they need a system like the Grim Dawn Nemesis enemies. And they need open world where you can explore and find those enemies. In Grim Dawn, I love that they have so many endgame possibilities. You can hunt Nemesis enemies, you can do roguelike dungeons like Bastion of Chaos, Steps of Torment, Port Valbury and so on. You can do survival mode with the Crucible, you can do rifting with the Shattered Realms. I mean, Grim Dawn right now has so much endgame to offer. Not as much as Path of Exile and its systems, but there are different I don't even put Path of Exile and Grim Dawn in the same category. Yeah, they're both hack and slash shooters, ARPGs, but their endgame is so different in regards to endgame goals and gearing up and all of that. Similar yet so different.
Not happy.
And with Grim Dawn you have mods, you have offline, which also results in people being able to cheat or not, but you can just team up with people you trust. And if you see a cheater in Grim Dawn, you can always kind of leave the game or kick them if it's your game. I don't know, right now probably Grim Dawn has the high amount of things I like. If of course there's a lot of things that I'm kind of bored of from Grim Dawn, but right now if I were to recommend a game in the genre to someone who wants something with a ton of content, that's probably gonna be the thing I can recommend. I'm wondering when they're gonna make Grim Dawn 2. I'm looking forward to a new Grim Dawn, not just new expansion, but a completely new, reworked, better engine, with better looking combat and animation and everything like that, and just a reworked system overall. I know eventually Crate Entertainment would release Grim Dawn 2, or maybe a completely different title. I'm wondering if Crate Entertainment are thinking of releasing a sci-fi game similar to Grim Dawn, or they still wanna do fantasy. But so far they've been so constant and consistent with the updates and the quality of life changes and everything. And also have high hopes for Last Epoch to end up being similar to what Grim Dawn is. Alright, enemies, come here. Who's left? Just this guy. Give me my wood. Wait, there should be another enemy. Oh, there we go. Dropped it. I'm gonna pick some wood to sell. Anything. Yet another map without a unique drop. It's taking its time for me to get a unique.
Welcome to my humble stand. You know
Okay.
Mohali is always the best value.
Let's see. Yeah, junk. Mostly junk. Morning, Carney facts. Morning to you. How have you been, Carney? Nice to see you again.
Greetings, my friend. How may I help you?
For new acts, I'm pretty sure there would be adding new acts. By the way, let me try and find you that article if I can. I'm gonna try and find you this news. The things I was talking about, why they're doing 4 months break. So this is the link about what I was just talking about earlier. If you want the source, this is the Reddit, the Reddit link. In the Reddit link is the source. It's an interview for a German website or whatever you want to call it, outlet. And that's from where I'm getting that that information that I was talking about earlier, if you're wondering about the 4 months of polish. Ooh, 3177 HP. But yeah, I need resists on my helm.
The quality on this one.
And right now armors are in a terrible state. If you're not using resist gear or HP resist gear, you're kind of losing a lot of potential. Rogue armor and sorcerer armor in this game currently feel terrible. And I don't know, they probably had some good ideas
Don't be
regarding
shy.
having force shield builds and having HP force shield hybrids and all of that. But when they have so many extra unnecessary levels of endgame content, unnecessary difficulties of endgame content, this makes those builds useless because they're very weak. If you don't have resistances on the high difficulties, you get one shot. Sometimes 2-3 shot, but still.
Plenty of eager seekers wait
And if
for
you
your
get one
word.
shot, regardless how much force shield leech you have on a force shield build, it's not gonna cut it. The same goes for HP build. I've tested 243,000 HP build, and I could still get 1-2 shot at level 130 enemies without resistances.
Oh, I guess that's not such a bad idea.
Some of you guys probably even saw me doing that because I was doing it live on stream when I was playing with my paladin build. And it's just sad the way they had good ideas about having different armor types, but right now resistance is the king of survivability in this game. And force shield, there's nothing special about force shield, there's nothing special about HP. And I think they need to maybe figure out a system whereas HP has its advantage over force shield and resistance, resistance has its advantage over force shield and HP, and force shield has its advantage over the other types of armor or survivability, let's say. Right now, only resistance has an advantage. So this needs a serious, complete rework from the get-go. I'm even gonna be happy if they just make only one armor type for now, and then add more armor types later when they figure out how to fix them. Maybe some enemies can do less damage to force shield or less damage to flesh, but more damage to resists, like armor piercing enemies, ignoring resistances but doing less damage to the flesh or to the force shield. Or I don't know, something like that. Or what we need is a way of getting resistances based on force shield level, or resistances based on HP levels, so that we don't get 1-2 shot when we go for a HP build or for a force shield build. But right now, as I say, doing the hardest content in the game with even with 300,000 force shield, it's still not gonna be good enough. So at the moment you have Bruiser and Heavy being the king of armors. The rest is barely used, if at all. And it's a shame, because there's some super fun builds you can make with force shield and force shield leeching, or with Smile of the Searing Song, converting force shield into HP and having a ton of it. Definitely fun builds to be made, but not viable for the hardest content in the game. It's 32 past midnight, so I'm gonna stream for a bit more, maybe finish this map. And tomorrow I'm gonna be playing Torchlight 3, but I can't stream it. If you wanna play Torchlight 3 with me, let me know, and we can team up and play together. We can chat on Discord. I'm gonna be streaming later tomorrow night as well, like I did today, but I wanna play some Torchlight 3 with the new wipe and the new level cap decrease. Torchlight 3 got from max level 100 to max level 60. Something Wolcen could probably learn from. You don't need to have that much grind for XP. So now in Torchlight 3 we're not gonna be grinding that much for XP. You complete the campaign, you complete the story around level 50. From there it's just 10 levels to grind with endgame map works. Or non-endgame map works, regardless what you wanna call them. Because they're not really endgame. But they're the only thing you can do after the campaign. So you grind another 10 levels and from there on it's just hunting for level 60 items. Which is nice, max level of the items getting changed from 100 to 60. And it's the first wipe after the previous wipe. So, as expected, I didn't put that much time into Torchlight 3 knowing that there's gonna be more wipes. So after the first big wipe a few months ago, I did play a bit, I did check the changes, I did level up a sharpshooter, which I love by the way. I'm loving the sharpshooter in Torchlight 3. And there's some very nice changes, so if you have access to Torchlight 3, hit me up over at Discord and we can team up maybe tomorrow in the afternoon and play together. There is cheat NPCs. In Torchlight 3 right now in the alpha, there is a cheat NPC that can power level you to a certain level. For example, you don't want to do the story, you can power level to the end of the final act and you're gonna be like level 45 or something automatically just by clicking one button. So it allows you to power level outs if you don't want to do the story with every single out. And it allows people to test content that without needing to spend too much time leveling up, they can still give feedback for that content. Shit. This damage reflected is not working for me. I'm just gonna skip this guy, fuck him. He's gonna take forever to kill and it's not worth it. I don't wanna switch to Bleeding Edge just for this guy, but if I wanna kill him I'm gonna have to switch to Bleeding Edge because of reflecting my missiles. And Bleeding Edge got nerfed by the way, not directly nerfed, it's just all modifiers like all modifiers like this one increase damage based on how many ailment stacks an enemy's got on them. All of those got nerfed. So Bleeding Edge, Blade Storm, Plague Burst, Infinity Blades, skills that have such modifiers got indirect nerf. Because there's a cap, there's a limit of how much damage bonus you can get on such skills now. Which I guess understand why they're doing it, but as I said, they should stop nerfing and they should start buffing stuff. The nerfing can come later when everything can be viable for the hardest content in the game. Oh, Greed Shrine. Oh. My favorite. Am I missing someone? Is there a chest I've not opened? This chest. Fuck, I missed one chest. Should have opened that chest as well with the others. Fucking timer is not gonna be enough. Well, at least I got one chest. One chest, two chests, three chests. 3 chests out of 4, so only the final one that I opened a bit too late I didn't get. Okay. Not that bad. It's just that the wood wasn't good enough though. And you can see how bad my luck is when it comes to unique items. 3 days in a row, not a single drop. Today I didn't even find the Zeitgeist once. might have to team up with someone and abuse the walk out glitch. The walk out, walk back in with the Zeitgeist to reset the items she's selling. If it's still working. So I can get some of those uniques and test them.
Not possible. Can't manage that. I can't do that right now.
Come on, die already, die already.
That's not happening.
Isn't he already at 15%? Shouldn't he get executed already? There we go, executed. Beefcake enemy.
Already? I must have dozed off.
I should do what? They didn't nerf everything. They didn't nerf many things. It's just that my build is not a meta build. My build is okay for the content I'm doing, it's fine. It's not that bad.
A fine item.
It can do 600,000-700,000 damage with a single projectile, and it's shooting 5 projectiles per one click, so it's not that bad. I'm gonna do one more map and that's gonna be it for today, I guess, because it's 41 past midnight, so just one more map.
A customer. Welcome to my
Probably
humble
gonna do some more Wolcen tomorrow, but as I said, I will be doing Torchlight 3 without streaming it because of the non-disclosure agreement.
You have a
And
good
then later
eye.
in the evening I will probably stream some more Wolcen tomorrow. Unless something else comes up, but I don't think it
Are
will.
you looking for
Not
me?
on a Sunday
Of
at
course you
least.
are. Got plenty of expeditions to choose
Okay,
from.
heavy armor, goat. Please give me some goat here, goat. Goat.
The journey carries a lot of risk, but if our diplomats pull it off,
Well,
there are
might
a
as well
number
get
of missions
primordial
within
affinity,
it.
I guess.
Take a look when you're ready.
It's not new items, it's just new tier. So, just an example is this one at level 40 compared to this one at level 60. You can see the damage is 50% better, roughly. And you can see from 190% material damage, this goes to 232% material damage. And the toughness from 25 goes to 57, so the maximum level required from 40 gets bumped to 60. And it's not on every item, it's just on weapons, shields and catalysts. The trial belt is the same, yeah, the trial belt is still maximum level required 10. Or maybe not 10, maybe... What's the maximum level? I think maybe 40 is the maximum for the trial, or 35. So they only changed the weapons. Okay, well, okay, maybe she's not farmable, the Zeitgeist. Well, it's worth giving it a test sometime to see if she can be farmable. But even if she isn't,
Welcome to my humble
I think they
style.
really need to boost the drop rates of some of the unique items, Because I've been getting legendaries left and right, and legendaries are actually most of the times better than uniques because you can reroll them and everything. But uniques are offering different playstyle, and I really want to check how strong they are. Some of the weapons and the unique shields I want to test. Shimmering Shadows should be pretty strong now, because that's gonna be extra shadow damage added. Like 50% extra shadow damage added to the flat damage that the Shimmering Shadows gives. And more block chance, block efficiency, etc. Yeah, maybe if I was in the party when she spawns and then I leave the party, or not leave the party but go to the character selection and walk back in, maybe that would still work without leaving the party, just to go back to the character selection and porting back into the zone to get the new stuff. Maybe that would work. Need to test it sometimes when I see her and when I'm partying with someone. So what they need to do now is the same thing they did for the weapons that are unique, they need to do for the armors. Because it's mostly the armors that feel super weak. I mean, I love my Rage Mage legs, but they're super weak. I love the what's it called, the Smile of the Searing Song, or Sun, or whatever it was called. I love it, but it's super weak compared to legendary items with maxed out resistances. I'm just not gonna cut it if I lose shit tons of resistances just to get some extra HP, and I'm still gonna get one shot if I lose that much resists. So it's a good thing that they're buffing up the unique weapons. We're just gonna wait for the same thing to happen with the armors. Maybe they just wanted to take it one step at a time and work on the weapons first before figuring out the best balance for the armors. As a general, armors need to be reworked. Like right now, as I said earlier, resistance is the king, and if you don't have resistances, you get one shot. So maybe they're waiting for something like a complete overhaul of the whole force shield, HP, resistance variations. Oh, I've been here already? When? I don't remember being in this one before. But there was an open chest there, which was weird. What I do wanna see for this game is a button that I can press from within the game to send them feedback regarding bugs, regarding suggestions about fixing certain mechanics, regarding quality of life changes. I want to be able to press escape, click feedback or send feedback, and then be able to write a message that gets sent to the quality assessment team. This is what I want in a game. I don't want to have to go to Reddit or to Discord or to the game forums to report stuff. I just don't want to have to do this. I want to be able to report from within the game. It's much easier that way and more convenient, and it's actually more convenient for them, because if they do a system to report from inside the game, they can actually get data, like what character I was playing, what level, what zone, what randomly generated map seed, and all of that. So it's gonna be easier for them. I said the same thing yesterday and I'm repeating myself today. Something like that is a great system. So they should come up with something like that soon. Because right now there aren't that many people playing the game, and every single bit of feedback they get from us should be important and valuable for them.
Not happening.
And if they make it easy for us and themselves to get that feedback across from one side to the other, it's only gonna be a bonus. Srir, come here. Here boy, here boy. Here boy. Alright, let's do this. I was trying to pull him close to the enemies so he can get damaged by the explosions. Okay, that was it for this guy. Well, 12:49, 49 past midnight here. That's gonna be it for today from me. Short stream again, but I'm gonna do some more tomorrow. And again, hit me up on Discord if you wanna communicate and maybe play some Torchlight 3 tomorrow together if you're interested. Keep it cool. Till next time, and goodbye.